Hey, everybody, we're here for a new episode of the show that's yet to be named, Review Edition. We're reviewing Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad with James Gunn. I don't care what you call it, it's a James Gunn one. That's how everyone's going to know it from now on. I'm here with Johnny Donuts 777. You can find him everywhere at Johnny Donuts 777. And I'm your old man Putty Pal. So, okay, so
today, where is he?
We'll do.
Well, let's talk about Easter eggs and how the mutants factor it.
Yeah, you know what? Putty gave it an 11 out of 10. I'll like save you the trouble. We'll do quickly like a no spoilers, and then we'll let you know when it's going to be a discussion time. So, I mean, basically, this movie's almost the same as the first one. They gather a group of like bad villains,
D-tier
villains, that they're willing to, that are like expendable. And they send them on a mission.
Expendables of the DC universe, but less cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Could have used Dolph Lundgren.
They get them. They send them out. There's a lot of new characters, a lot of new faces. They, just for people who, if you want to know, this is not a spoiler. They do I don't know. It's intentional, obviously, so I don't want to say unintentional. But they tie this movie in to the other one, but in a way that doesn't make you feel like it's continuing, but it like not tips its hat to the fact that these people that this happened. So that
it's a continuation / soft reboot, I guess, is what you can.
So it acknowledges that the events of the first one happened, but it doesn't care that they happened. And I mean, it's pretty good. General thoughts. Do you have general thoughts for it? Just
general thoughts. I mean, like it's your basic story. I mean, what I really like about it is more of not so much the story, but the way James Gunn directs. It really makes you feel for the characters. You get a strong connection with Ratcatcher 2 and Bloodsport. He makes you feel for these two characters, and even towards the end of the movie, you feel for Polka-dot Man too.
I think he put his hardest effort into turning that character around towards the end of the movie as fast as he could, and redeeming him. It really worked. It really worked. That's no spoilers, guys. Don't worry. But I mean, to me, my biggest issue, I think, like that glaring issue, is that there isn't really a storyline.
No,
there's a
bunch of people do this, go there.
Yeah, there's a point A starting point and where they're trying to get, and everything in between just feels like it's happening, and it doesn't feel like super cohesive or really always makes sense.
Yeah.
And you know what? Another issue, Harley does not feel necessary to this story at all in any way.
I think they just shoehorned her in just to put her there.
Yeah. And I mean, she's good in it, but she doesn't really have any type of arc. It's just do this. No. They use her for one moment to stop you from paying attention to what's actually happening.
It sets up a plot point for a secondary plot point in the film
that doesn't end up mattering.
No, it doesn't. I don't want to give
spoilers,
but it's in the commercials. They go to rescue her, right? Like it's in all the ads, so that's not really a spoiler. But it's a secondary plot point to the main plot of the movie, and it felt pointless.
Yeah, I felt a lot of that in this. It's very reminiscent of Guardians 2 for me, where you had the story, the Groot and Rocket and Yondu story is really good. And it pulls you in. It's very engrossing what's happening there. But then the main storyline with Peter Quill and them and Ego, no one cares. Like, it was so poorly written. It's like that should have been the secondary plot, not the main plot of the movie. And that's how this movie does feel.
I think with Guardians 2, it's the plot of how, like, even Yondu says it in that film. He goes, he may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy. Right.
Yeah.
And it goes to show, like, they set up that secondary plot point for a very specific and heartwarming moment in the movie. And like, spoilers for a 5-year-old movie now, but Yondu ends up dying in the end, and it sets up this gut-wrenching, and James Gunn is excellent at doing that with character building, but they wasted it on a secondary plot. And I feel that's what they did with this one as well.
Yeah. And it took that entire secondary plot to build up to get one scene. And it was like, you could have did it without it. Anyways, what would you score it out of 10?
Out of 10, I'd say a low 7, like a 7. Yeah, about a 7.
I think for me, the comedy and the interactions and the action in the movie was like by far one of the best we've seen in a while in a comic book
Yeah.
movie. I would go higher than you. I'm probably at like a 7.75, 7.8. I
Okay,
mean,
that's
it's
fair.
not the best movie ever.
It was fun. It's a
it-
great summer popcorn movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you just want to watch an action movie and laugh here and there, I think this is a great movie to check out.
Yeah. And a 7 is not a it's not a bad movie in my opinion.
Oh no! Once
yeah.
you're in the 7, even in the 6s, it's watchable, right?
Yeah.
Once you're in the 7s, you're good. Because like
I
for
had
me,
fun with it.
the original cut, the original movie, I would give it like a 5. But then the extended version is like a 6. I think the
David Ayer
extended
cut?
version fixed not the air cut, the producer extended version that came out.
Okay.
It makes the story make more sense. It's kind of like the Batman vs Superman extended, right? It added like 10 minutes to the movie and filled in gaps. It had a little bit more Joker. It was a little bit better. But anyways, if you just
because like if you take I was going to say, because you take a scene from that first Suicide Squad film when they're all in the bar and they're all supposed to be bonding, I didn't feel anything for those characters. Here, like I said, there's no spoiler. It's not a spoiler, but there's a scene where Ratcatcher 2 and Bloodsport are on that bus and they're talking to each other. I'm going to get you out of this alive. Well, my job's to see that you get out of this alive. And like I said, the bonding between the characters in the same amount of time was way better than, and
he does understand characters a lot better.
Yes.
So, but we'll get into that now. So guys, if you just came to see the no spoiler, there you go. Tried to give it to you real quick. Well, we're going to get into like a really yelling at each other discussion right now. So check out now if that's all you came for. Spoiler alert. So, okay. I really, really, really disliked the first, like, the whole introducing of the characters all the way until the new team met like Rick Flag. I was like, or actually, okay, until Shark, what's his name? King Shark tries to eat Ratcatcher 2.
Yes.
Until that point, I was like, what is happening? I'm like, this movie is a
Cena
mess.
shows up in his underwear.
Yeah, the movie was just a mess. Like,
it was. I think the first 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it was just there to kill off all the old characters. Or not the old characters.
It wanted to show you that nobody was safe. I truly feel like that was the only reason for that, was to keep you on your toes, because anybody can die. Right.
Yeah.
And
which then in the end, nobody else dies except
Polka-dot Man.
Polka-dot Man. Yeah. So you knew somebody was going to die at that point.
Well, actually, Rick Flag.
Oh, that's right. That's a major death. Yes.
But he went out in such a shitty way.
He got punked.
It kind of felt like they were, I'm not speculating that this is why, but it felt like it was like, we don't want you in these movies anymore, so we're just going to kill you. Because
basically they got rid of the old, this is their way of getting rid of the entire old cast.
Yeah, and they can't get rid of Harley.
Well, she's done now anyway, she said, right? Margot Robbie said
she came out and she rephrased her statement and said she's not done with the character. She just needs some time off because she made 2 movies in 2 years of the same character and she just doesn't want to do it right now.
Yeah. So, okay, fair enough. She backtracked a little bit on her comment. But yeah, okay, so Harley. But I mean, Harley's that's your box office, though.
Yeah, and I fully understand why they felt like they needed her in this movie, but she doesn't serve any purpose at all.
No.
And
it's like the only, like, I mean, and you saw that coming from a mile away when Javelin leaves Harley her javelin. And then I knew at the end of the movie that that's what she was going to use to stab Starro in the eye.
Really?
Like, I knew it right away. As soon as she got the javelin and I saw Starro, what are you going to do with Starro? You're going to go after his eye, right? Like,
I knew that the javelin was going to have something to do with
play a part in it.
But I figured when she jumped across the building and caught on that, because she's like, oh, thank God I got the javelin. I thought that's what it was all going to be for, right? But now that you said that, it kind of does. It kind of has like, it tracks.
It was telegraphed.
Yeah,
it was telegraphed, and the plot twist for just the sake of a plot twist.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that in this movie where something happens just for the sake of it happening, and I wasn't a fan of a lot of the small choices.
It's like the double cross of a double agent kind of thing. Like,
yeah, And
I was sent on this mission. It's a separate mission from your mission kind of thing. And it got a little convoluted.
Let's stay towards the beginning for a bit. So
sure.
That happens. I didn't like the intro of all the characters. They do a good job once again of making sure you absolutely hate Amanda Waller.
Yes, and Viola Davis does an amazing job.
Yeah, like I wanted to punch her the whole time.
Yeah, and someone actually did hit her with a golf club.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, like a lot of her choices were so questionable. Like Savant they could have just went and got him. You literally killed an asset just because he was swimming away because everyone was dying. Why would he just want to die? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but yet she was so quick to kill off Savant. But how long did she take before she wanted to activate the switch to kill off Bloodsport?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like that contradicts itself again too, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of like there's a lot of that. And a lot of the people they introduced you at the beginning, I'm not even going to lie, you knew they were going to die. The one that really fucked me up, like not like sad way, that I was like, what, was Boomerang, Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, but
I was like, really?
That's Gunn's way of saying like we're not taking anybody from the old movies anymore. You know what I mean?
He definitely would have killed Harley if they weren't like you're not allowed to kill her.
Yeah. The studio would
feel it because in this movie, she's so underutilized. Like I know I keep saying that, but she is, if you're watching it, pay attention. She's just there with them, but she's not actually doing anything ever. She's just literally there. She's most of the time she's not even talking.
He does have a great line when they're in the office building though, and they kill off Milton. Yeah, who's Milton?
No, the best part's at the end is like, "Don't worry, Milton, I'll be your friend. My name's not Milton." It's like we had a 3-hour talk about how your name was Milton.
But it's like that, like I mean, and
her comedy is great.
Yeah, and that's clearly typical James Gunn writing, right?
Yeah.
Like he adds little like until Harley, even Polka-dot Man mentioned Milton. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, what's this guy doing around walking with them still? Like, who is this guy? He's the bus driver.
And I think that she specifically, Margot Robbie, does a great job in the movie with what she's given, and her comedic timing is amazing.
Harley Quinn. Yes,
her comedic timing is amazing, and I liked how kind of even more badass she was in this than any of the last two movies. But they kind of pushed her character backwards in a sense. Like in Birds of Prey, she became like this very like heroic type of like anti-hero. I can handle myself. I can be on my own type of figure. And then in this movie, she kind of like went backwards and she became like dumb, stupid. Like,
and I even said that I was watching it. I'm like, when she falls for the president or whatever he is, when she falls for him, I'm thinking to myself, didn't you just set up in the last movie about how you don't need anybody and how you don't want to?
Yeah.
And then they rectify that by shooting him in the chest.
But
I didn't see coming.
And I'll give that to them. But if you watch that, if you pay attention to specifically in that scene you said, you can see that like she's supposed to be like a ditzy, like brain dead person, but really she's smart. It's just like all a facade.
Well, she's a former psychologist, right?
Yeah.
Psychiatrist, whatever she is.
Who just went crazy. But the problem is she comes off really stupid in this movie. She never once does a smart thing, which is weird because in both of the last two movies, she had a moment where she played smart, like in the bar where she was asking them what's going on in your life and like digging into their heads. And then in Birds of Prey, she's like really smart out of nowhere.
Yeah. But I mean, then again, in the first Suicide movie too, there's that really stupid line where she breaks the window and steals the purse. Well, we're bad guys. Well, like really, like
that was a scene literally just used to show her ass. I'm willing to put money on that.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, and you're right though. I think that studio influence was the Harley Quinn for sure. That she had to be there because like the way she was written in this movie is a departure from the way she was portrayed in Birds of Prey.
Which, in my opinion, I would have brought on the writers from Birds of Prey just to specifically write Harley with James Quinn to make sure that you have continuity. Yeah. This has always been DC's problem since they started with Zack Snyder. There's no continuity. Even in the next movie, retcons. In his own 3 movies, he has 0 continuity between them, except for the fact that people remember that happened.
Yeah. Oh, it's an alternate timeline or this and that. Like, no, like
No,
there's no
but and I'm
continuity.
not even knocking him for that. But I'm
No,
saying
that's not Gunn's fault though.
even in Snyder's 3 movies on that he did on his own, he couldn't have continuity. Let alone this whole like Wonder Woman 84 retcons like everything about the last Wonder Woman. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
So she can't fly in Justice League, but she can fly in Wonder Woman 84.
She couldn't fly in Batman vs Superman either. So
Right.
I mean, thanks. But I mean, the characters, he does understand the characters. I think Stallone was great.
Yes.
I didn't even know it was Stallone.
And fun fact, the guy who played the tech guy with the beard, Steve Agee,
Yeah.
he was the mocap for King Shark.
Really?
Yep.
Well, and his character becomes the warden of Belle Reve.
Yes, in the comic books, he does. Yes.
And the girl that's working with him, the blonde girl, is a double agent. She ends up taking over for Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
And then she's a Russian spy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
So I read a comic book.
I read a comic book. And the guy who did the second run of here's an Easter egg for Putty. The guy who did the second run of Suicide Squad was the actual doctor administering the thing to Savant.
Really?
That was John Ostrander. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
his run is very good, actually.
Yeah, that was the better Suicide. That's the second run of Suicide Squad.
And that's the one that James Gunn really loves.
Yeah, and that's why John Ostrander was in the film.
Oh, that's great.
And another little we're going putty territory here, but another fun Easter egg is James Gunn always finds a way to throw in Lloyd Kaufman in there, and Lloyd Kaufman was in the Mexican bar that John Cena knocks over.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
That was Lloyd Kaufman.
I actually thought it was him.
Yeah, that's Lloyd. Because for those who don't know, James Gunn used to work for Troma, the Toxic Avenger, all that kind of stuff, right? Those B movie and he's a big fan. He owes his career to Lloyd Kaufman. So every time James Gunn makes a movie, it has to involve Nathan Fillion and Lloyd Kaufman.
He's also a ridiculously nice person.
Gunn?
Lloyd Kaufman.
Oh yeah, I met him years ago at a Comic-Con, and
so did I.
Yeah, he'll just talk to you, man, about anything.
He doesn't have a fame thing. He's just he loves that he has fans and he's willing to be with you, and he's awesome.
Just happy that people acknowledge him.
Yeah. I mean, Toxic Avengers dope.
Yeah, the first Toxic Avenger, amazing.
And it spawned so much. Comic book figures. The figures were so popular when I was a kid. Yeah, the cartoon. How did you make a cartoon out of that?
Yeah, there were cartoons out of so many R-rated products. There was a Rambo cartoon, a RoboCop cartoon.
I forgot there was a Rambo cartoon.
Yeah, it's there were so many R-rated franchises that were made at the hey kids play with this
well, I know
weapon of mass destruction.
When they made the toys for Aliens, the people James Cameron and whoever was like, what are you making toys for kids out of a rated R movie? They wanted them to dumb down the movie for the toys, and they're like, no,
the toys.
Imagine a not rated R version of Aliens or Alien. Get out of here, or Terminator 2. Are you kidding me?
I can just see what's his name now, Paxton. Game over, man. Game over. We're all freaking dead.
That's definitely how it plays on TNT. We're all flubbing.
Back to the topic at hand about continuity and the story.
But he does. I feel like if you let James Gunn continue to do this, you know what? I don't want to be the one who says this and get backlash for it, but I think you should make James Gunn in charge of the DC universe. I mean, I don't necessarily want the comedy as hard as it is in Suicide Squad with all of the movies, but I feel like he truly understands comics.
He's a fan of the content, and that makes a big difference. You see the difference in something like The Mandalorian, where Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are truly fans of the franchise.
Yeah.
And yes, Kathleen Kennedy is involved, but not to the extent where she was involved with the films. They have full creative control of The Mandalorian, and look how fantastic that show turned out.
And I think we're starting to see that with Marvel as well, where Kevin Feige still has his hands on things, but he's allowing the TV shows to be wild and different and explore things, where in the movies, it's kind of getting a bit cookie cutter. I mean, I know that Spider-Man and Doctor Strange are going to blow our minds, and I'm very happy about that. But it's like what WandaVision and Loki especially did. I really like that. And even the character growth in Falcon and Winter Soldier is we've never seen that in a movie, from a Marvel movie.
No, they set up those two characters that you felt so much, but not just Falcon and Soldier. You felt for Russell, U.S. agent there. You felt everybody.
You felt for everybody, and it's
there's
like,
that pathos there. Yeah,
they explored more
even the villain.
Political,
you feel bad for the villain.
Yeah, they explored more political and racial stuff in that series than they did in Black Panther, which literally should have done all of those things.
Yeah.
And it's like it's crazy that it took you to use two of your secondary characters. I love Winter Soldier though.
Yeah.
And after this, I love Falcon. I mean, I wasn't a huge Falcon fan before. I thought the character was cheesy. I liked what's his name playing him, Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, but he's a really good actor playing that role.
Back to DC.
Yeah, but yes, I agree. James Gunn. I would like to see James Gunn with some creative input by Paul Dini.
Yeah, and I would love that. I would love it if you brought Paul Dini and James Gunn.
He could write some of the darker stuff.
Stop having it be one person. Make it like 3 or 4 people who know comic books and let them work together to give you the movies. You can bring on different writers, that's fine, but you had Jeff Johns and he screwed everything up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Jim Lee didn't want anything to do with it after you gave him the control. He was like, screw this. I mean, and he's like my favorite artist of all time.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see what he was going to do.
Well, because Johns doesn't want a part of it anymore. Why don't you bring in like the trio of Snyder, Dini, and
that would be great.
And what's the other guy?
Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder. That's it. Not Zach. Scott.
Yeah. Scott Snyder, James Gunn, and Paul Dini, and just let them roll with it.
Yeah, and I think those three would do a fantastic job with
Snyder.
the franchise.
Snyder pulled off some amazing runs of Batman, absolutely stupid. The Black Mirror is one of the best written comic books, period,
and highly underrated. Highly underrated.
Yeah, nobody reads it because it falls into that arc of Batman R.I.P. where everyone stopped reading Batman. It got really weird, and then you had the issue where Batman was like lost in time, which I bought that, and don't ever read that comic.
Oh, that's
where he's like a pirate and a caveman, and it's just so dumb. And then at the end, he comes back alive. Spoilers.
Yeah. But didn't he do Court of Owls though?
Court of Owls, amazing. One of the best runs of comics as well ever. Definitely the best New 52 entire.
It started that New 52 run of Batman real strong.
Oh yeah, and the Batman run on New 52 was good all the way through.
Yes, it was.
But those first 3 volumes of it, or 2 or 3 volumes, whatever it is, are fantastic.
It's like about 10, 12 issues. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so good and introduced a whole new thing. That's the thing, right? If you're going to make Batman relevant, you need to do more than just make the Joker show up every once in a while. Actually, a lot of it was good because the 3rd volume was Death of the Family.
Yes.
And
that's where Joker removes his face and like
when they show the end of the Court of the Owls, when they get to the last book and the last page, it shows them in the police station and the freezer for where his face was is open and the face is gone. Yes. And it's like, oh shit, Joker's coming back.
Joker's the way they teased it, but
and then Dollmaker cut his face off. But there was so much good shit going on.
Yeah, that was a good New 52 run.
We were way off.
Yeah, we're still talking about DC in a way.
I mean, yeah.
But I mean, but like I said, Dini, Snyder, and James Gunn. But the thing is, James Gunn went back to Marvel because he's doing 2 more Marvel things now, right? He's doing the Guardians Holiday Special. He's doing Volume 3 now.
But he only wanted to go back because he wanted to wrap up Guardians.
Okay, he wanted to tell his story in that trilogy.
I think it's going to end, right? Because I can't see that going anymore. I feel like the next time you see Guardians, they're either going to be background people in like a Thor movie or background people in a Doctor Strange movie, or only to show up for the Avengers next event.
Yeah, because with Gamora gone.
I really hope they leave for dead. I really hope.
I don't want to bring Gamora back. Like, I mean, that's what part 3 is going to be about.
And also, I prefer Karen Gillan over the Zoe Saldana character, not the actresses. I prefer Nebula as her a character arc than Gamora. Way more. So I hope they keep running with that. I really, really liked that.
But Nebula can have run-ins now with Galactus, with Silver Surfer. Like, there's so many ways. Nebula and Kang, they can, like, she's involved with all these characters, right? So there's more stories to tell with Nebula.
I agree.
I think.
And I think you don't ruin the weight of the deaths. Like the fact that we know for a fact we're not getting Black Widow back with the whole Scarlett Johansson thing.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing in a way because I don't want her to come back.
But we're getting Black Widow Junior, Black Widow 2, whatever you want to call her.
I'll take Black Pew. All right.
Black Pew.
You can give me Black Pew anytime you want because she's so freaking good. Okay, wrong thing. Back
fighting with my family.
Yeah. Back to this.
Yeah.
So like let's just talk about the characters, I guess, because we're gonna end up ranting on it if we don't stay focused.
Yeah.
He writes the characters so well. Stallone was great. The fact that you made us care about the shark was so reminiscent of Groot.
Yes, I felt the same way.
But he had way more personality than Groot.
Yes. He said
at least in
things.
the first Guardians. Because young Groot has like a lot of personality.
Oh, the baby Groot, yeah. Like I was rewatching it not that long ago, Guardians 2, and it's like that scene where Rocket's trying to explain to him how to do the bomb. Right? You push the button, I am Groot. You push the button, I am Groot. Then what do? I am Groot. No, he's like going off.
And when he keeps bringing him back to things, why would you bring me this eye?
Wait, no, leave me the eye. Why? Because he's gonna wake up and
it's gonna be hilarious. Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, like
okay.
And King Shark had great personality, but even like the few minutes that you see the Weasel, like you can see his character.
They purposely left Weasel. I think for sure they're planning on another Suicide Squad movie because there's no way that after this. Not forget about the success at the box office because it didn't do very well.
No,
but like
a lot of people are trashing it because it tanked.
You're at the tail end of a pandemic. There's probably 100 different countries in the world that don't even have movie theaters open yet. Like you have huge markets like India and China that don't even have the movie theaters open yet.
No.
So where are you expecting to get all this money back from? I don't think you know what I mean? There's European countries that probably don't have movie theaters open. Canada barely has movie theaters open.
We're at what, 25% capacity right now?
And not even all of them are open. And it's like, not to mention it's rated R and it's extremely obscure characters. If you minus out Harley Quinn, there's no one here that anybody knows.
No. I don't think too many people know who the Javelin is or Blackguard. I'm pretty sure
nobody even knows who Deadshot is. I mean, Bloodsport.
Because he didn't want to take over for Will Smith, so they gave him a different character.
And you know how happy that was when that happened. How happy I was. I was freaking out because I'm like, everyone kept saying he was going to be Deadshot, and I'm like, there's no way they're going to do that. That's just stupid.
No.
And then they didn't, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is.
But it leaves the door open for Will Smith to come back because I didn't mind his Deadshot.
And I bet you in the next movie you're going to have Bloodsport and Deadshot and Harley. And King Shark and
Peacemaker.
And Peacemaker is going to be the villain or something. Or not the villain, but he's going to be doing something for Amanda Waller. And these guys are going to now be trying to stop Amanda Waller. Waller's gone rogue or something. You know, I could see that happening.
Totally. Or no, Amanda Waller gets them because at the end of Suicide Squad, there's the blonde chick and Steve Agee that go and right? Because they go and get Peacemaker, which is going to lead into his Peacemaker miniseries.
Well, the Peacemaker miniseries apparently half of it takes place before Suicide Squad and half of it takes place after Suicide Squad. Okay. That's what they said so far.
But still, like, so it's going to lead into that, and then Amanda Waller is going to bring Deadshot back with the Bloodsport to get back at Peacemaker.
Maybe, yeah. That's a good.
I could see that. Like, I mean, hey, you know, James Gunn, if you're doing the next, give us a call. We'll write the movie for you.
We'll start telling you a movie, then we'll start talking about something else.
We'll pitch it to you.
We'll pitch you half a movie, then talk about comic books.
But yeah, so I could totally see that happening. They bring back Will Smith and Weasel.
So with the main characters, I like that we got a little bit of backstory for Bloodsport, but I don't really care for anything that they told us. It's kind of just little jabs that make stupid nerds go, I want to watch him shoot Spy Superman now. I can't wait till they show that. Like, what if they never
Volume 2, Issue 4. Go look it up.
Yeah, just like, it's so, that kind of stuff I didn't like. And like, there's other small things. So like, I have a lot of trouble with Ratcatcher too. I like the character. I liked her in the movie. Okay.
She portrayed it really well. Yes.
She didn't grow up in Portugal. Her dad is clearly from New Zealand, but she has a Portuguese accent. And like it never gets addressed for the whole movie. Like, why
Yeah,
didn't you
very
just make it so she grew up in Portugal? Because I clearly remembered saying Czech Republic, unless I'm crazy or something like that.
Yeah, because the scene where they're sitting on top of that tower, is that the Czech Republic or
I
is that
think
Germany?
it says Czech
Yeah,
Republic or
okay.
Germany or something, which I
Yeah,
didn't get it. I
and
was like, I don't understand where she got this
but I
accent
mean that
from.
little bit that Taika Waititi's in it, he's
He's
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah.
But so I like her everything. That's not even my gripe. My gripe is that you brought this character in and you gave her the most backstory and like personality, and you
Mhm.
made us care about her more than any character, but she's barely used for the entirety of the movie until the last and like right at the end.
I think she's just there to be that catalyst for Bloodsport to have that change of heart.
You think so?
I think that's all she was like. I mean, and she played that part well, don't get me wrong, but I think that's what was there for, because he sees what he was missing with his daughter in this girl, right?
Yeah.
At
I
least
think
that's the way I saw it, right?
she's like the Drax of the group, where it's like she's lovable, but at the same time, she's not like the most necessary character in general.
Yeah.
And you have your group. It's so played out like that. And Quill is your Deadshot. Gamora is your Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And then you had what Polka-dot Man. Polka-dot Man's fleshing out in the last little bit is so good. I knew they were gonna kill him because all of a sudden he got so much development in like 5 minutes. I was like, okay, he's gonna die.
Polka-dot Man got more development in this movie than he's had in his entire comic book.
And he was so awesome. I was really upset that they killed him.
Yeah, and it's the same actor from Ant-Man.
Yep. And he's also in Clerks 2. He's one of the SWAT team guys.
He is one of the SWAT team
guys. I mean, not Clerks
guys.
2, Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Reboot, yes. But yeah, that's him. But yeah, his development in this movie, it's like someone who I thought like a C, D tier villain.
He's like an F tier villain.
Okay, even more, right? But the fact that you actually feel, and that's a detriment to James Gunn's writing too, right? Like, he wrote this character so well, like the whole thing, like, where do you, I see my mother everywhere kind of thing. And then at the end, Starro's his mom kind of breaking down the building, right?
Oh, it's like I shared that meme the other day where he puts his face on Iron Man and the mom's face. I see her everywhere I go. But yeah,
that was a good meme.
And it's like, I get it. Do you see the one I did today too, the Peacemaker one?
No, I missed.
I'll kill everyone for liberty, women, children, men, and then after at the bottom it shows Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin's nice.
But what I mean, actually, Peacemaker's really well written.
Yeah, you know what? This is John Cena's best acting role I've seen ever. Because all of John Cena's movies, this is John Cena's Guardians of the. Okay, this is John Cena's Guardians.
This is, yes, I agree. What you're gonna say, Batista and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
This is his best role, but I still don't think his acting is that good.
No, but his comedic timing was good.
Yes, and he's slowly, if you've been watching any of his movies that come out, his comedic timing has been getting better. In Cock Blockers, his comedic timing is great. And then he just didn't really do anything for a while. Then this came out, and you know what? Good. Yeah.
Now he's fighting Roman Reigns at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Two people that nobody want to watch. How does Roman Reigns keep getting like main events at pay-per-views?
I don't know. And then they released The Fiend.
Oh my god, I know.
Whatever.
He's going to AEW, buddy, and he's gonna rip it up. They're gonna be like, listen, you can do whatever you want, and he's gonna be like, okay.
And he's gonna bring him and his brother and Braun Strowman.
Oh my gosh.
Bo Dallas, right?
They're gonna
and
do
IRS
that again?
is gonna be their manager.
Oh, that's gonna be so
the whole
awesome.
family.
Oh, I would love that. Okay,
like
way off topic.
Cult
I don't
of
watch
Wyndham
wrestling, and I want to watch that. You made me
the Cult of Wyndham or something like that.
And just give them the lanterns again and let them go do what they do.
Yeah. But that's beside the point. But yes, John Cena. There's that scene where they like. I mean, I love that scene when they arrive at the rebel camp, and they're just like slowly killing off everybody. And John Cena's walking by that sleeping guy. He's just like stab, 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 stab.
Oh like, yeah, and doesn't he say stab, 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 stab?
Yes.
I know he says something. He's like stab, stab, stab.
I think it is stab, 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 stab. And then the dude with the peen.
Okay, so this is another like small issues with this movie. Why I don't understand how people can in any way give this movie a perfect score, because in that scene alone, they're in a big open space and every 5 feet keep walking into somebody who didn't hear them, just shooting people and knocking things over and fighting people like a foot away from them. They keep catching everybody off guard.
As funny as it was, like they're literally knocking somebody out right beside another guy, and the guy doesn't even notice.
And I know you've seen that one. There's one where Deadshot hits a guy, and then there's 2 people standing 3 feet away,
literally watching him do it.
And then he somehow snuck up on them.
Yeah, like, and they're literally watching him.
And it's like, and you know what's funny? I don't remember her name. The girl that plays the rebel leader.
Alice Barga.
Alice Barga.
Yeah,
And
from Queen of the South.
Yeah. And they put her front and center in all of the marketing, and she's not even in this movie.
She's barely in the movie.
And I get it with the people that you killed off because you didn't want people to know you were going to kill them off. But like, she doesn't die, but you made it seem like she's such a huge part of this movie, and she's absolutely not.
But the thing is, she's a big part of the story because she becomes leader of the country.
Yeah.
And they don't even acknowledge that.
That's another thing. As the movie's closing, it's just like, oh, forget everything, we're moving on. And I was like, well, you didn't even like wrap any of this up. It's just over. Like,
yeah. You're right though. It did after they killed Starro, the movie just ended abruptly.
It went right to the scene where it showed on the news that they beat him, and the daughter was like, "That's my dad."
Yeah,
and my dad.
But I mean, I did like the effects on the mini Starros on people's faces. Those effects were good.
They did a lot of the CGI, and this was really good. And a lot of it was done in a way like Cloverfield or something, where it was shot through like cameras of people flying by, or all you would see is just the leg. And I really like that. You get very, very few shots where it's like the whole monster in the frame.
Yeah.
And to do Starro is like, wow, good for you.
Well, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, you're going to take all these D-level villains. You might as well throw in a D-level big bad for the end of the movie.
And it doesn't waste any villains, where that's an issue that I've always had with Marvel. Dead. And now who do you have left? You just everybody at the end of every movie, the villain dies. Like, except for Baron Zemo. But I mean,
I'm looking forward to, but
the dance cut. I want the Zemo cut.
The 1 hour Zemo cut.
Just listen, James Gunn.
Yes.
Because I know you're watching this. Figure out how to get us the Schumacher cut. I want the gayest Batman that we've ever had.
I'm sure he'll find a way to do it. We'll add him in the comments.
I just want all the fanboys to be mad. Just get us a Batman in a pink suit.
Yeah.
Not even pink. That's just like
No, the one where was the issue where his clothes got stuck in the laundry and it was
we talked about that. Yeah. It's a multicolored thing. Now let's just do it.
Yeah, do that one. Do that. With nipples.
Yeah, with nipples and credit cards.
Yes. And Diet Coke.
No Diet Coke. Only regular Coke.
Okay.
I don't like Diet Coke. Yeah.
But as much as blacklight paint we can get.
Yes. And more Chris O'Donnell.
Yes.
More Chris O'Donnell butt. Okay. just go all the way.
I'd watch it.
Ah. But Alfred, okay, wait, he's dead. But
yeah,
do it in post in CGI.
Bring in Michael Caine. I'll take Michael Caine in that role again.
It just switches factors.
You'll get Michael Caine and then like Jeremy Irons in the next scene.
And then he just goes back. That would be fun. Just mess with
like people. With Commissioner Gordon. One moment it's like the guy from is it Jeffrey Wright from the new so it's Jeffrey Wright, and then it's like J.K. Simmons, and
do you know what they should do?
Gary Oldman.
They should. I'm surprised no one's done this. Someone should make their own Batman movie using cuts from every single one of the Batman movies. So it just keeps changing who the Batman is, who Joker is, who Catwoman is, and it just keeps cutting, but you actually turn it into a movie. You could definitely do it.
You know what? Like, started off with like, Heath Ledger saying, "Do you want to know how I got these scars?" And then like Jack Nicholson, "Have you ever heard of the healing power of laughter?" Yeah,
exactly. And then you could have Jack Nicholson kills Jack Palance. But it starts out with okay, we're going too far.
We're going way off topic, but
Suicide Squad.
It was a half decent fun movie.
It's a good superhero movie, but I wouldn't say it's a great.
It's a good action movie.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better action movies we've got recently, since maybe like John Wick-ish.
Yeah. Nobody was really good.
Nobody was really good. This is better than Nobody, though. And I'll tell you why. Because this one, nails the comedy so hard. And
even though as Bob Odenkirk is such a great comedian,
the acting all around is pretty solid in this. The visually it looks nice.
The fact that I was not desaturized like a lot of DC movies tend to be, it was bright, it was colorful, there was colors everywhere. Like
and
that scene where Harley's going through the hallway with the animated flowers and birds.
It didn't take away from the movie.
No,
he did it properly. He did it properly, and I think maybe this, like I said, the story is kind of weak.
Like I mean, the whole hard drive thing and like that
there's
your MacGuffin for the there's your MacGuffin for the movie.
I mean, honestly, just to get Ratcatcher 2, Bloodsport, King Shark, and Polka-Dot Man, I think just for that alone, this movie's worth watching.
Yeah, he basically turned this into the Guardians of the DC universe.
And it doesn't feel stupid. Like, and I don't mean that like it's not like a goofy, silly movie. I mean, Guardians has this Marvelness to it where I love the first Guardians movie. I'm not a huge fan of the second one, but it kind of has this whole like stupid vibe to it, but with serious characters. But at least this movie understands that these characters are all like psychos.
Yeah, so they're all psychopaths. Yeah,
like the part in the bar is amazing. The part in the bar is absolutely amazing. When Polka-Dot Man's dancing with all the women, and it's all his mom.
Even right down to the guy with that blue beard, it's his mom, and it's like,
I mean, all of that part was so good. And then they made King Shark sit in the van, and he's like listening to the music in the van.
But even something as simple as like Polka-Dot Man, you didn't need half an hour to tell his origin story. He's like, yeah, my mom's a psycho. She injected an interdimensional virus into me, and if I don't relieve it at the end of every day, I die.
It's funny, they animate it like I meant like anime apostrophe animate it really well with its exposition, where everything is explained to you through people having conversations, but it's always done in points where it's like, we have to get here, so while we're walking, we'll tell you what's happening. Oh, we're collecting weapons now, so while we're collecting weapons, I'll tell you my backstory. And it's done really smartly like that, rather than an entire scene where everything just stops for someone to explain something.
They don't waste the scene that way. I agree.
There's no wasted time in this movie. It does severely slow down in the like third half of the movie, the third act of the movie. Like
the third act,
the pacing just stops.
Yes, and when they like, after the Thinker brings them down into the Jotunheim.
Yeah.
That's when it kind of slows down a little bit.
Well, right when they get out of the bar and they have the Thinker until Starro gets released is just like slow. Like the whole fight between John Cena and Joel Kinnaman was so boring.
And it was short too. It was really short. Like it wasn't a long fight.
They did him dirty.
Yeah. I mean, I like what they showed when they showed that ceramic go into his chest, and then you see it like in his heart, and that's why he like. It's a really good scene, but
he had him though. That I knew it was gonna happen. Right when I saw his hand reaching, I'm like, he's gonna get a piece of glass or something and stab him and kill him, or he's gonna slit his throat. That's what I expected.
Yeah.
But I mean,
the death scenes were pretty gruesome.
Yeah, they were. But at the same time, like I'm not one who cares for this, but I do understand the proper use of it in movies. A lot of the gore in this and a lot of the swearing is excessive to the point where it doesn't always feel like it helps the movie or furthers anything. It's just there because I want it to look cool.
I want it to be rated R.
Yeah, like, okay, Savant's head blew up. I didn't need to see, I mean, I don't care that it happened, but I didn't need to see a bird later come fly and like pick out a piece of his brain and fly. It didn't make sense to have that. That's just, you're adding in scenes just because you think it looks cool, and it didn't further the movie, and it kind of hurt the movie at some points. One thing was I wanted to ask, so they keep talking about the cameo, the Guardians cameo. Did you find the Guardians of the Galaxy cameo in this movie?
No,
see, everyone keeps telling me no. I saw it right away.
Where was it?
When they go to the bar, the lead dancer that they show the whole time is Palm Clementia.
Yes. That I knew it was her.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
the Guardians
that's what the Guardians cameo was.
I know,
Okay.
because I didn't think it was that either. I was looking for like someone dressed as a Guardian of the Galaxy.
Okay, I knew that was her. I didn't know that was like, I thought maybe there was like a small picture of Star-Lord somewhere.
That's what I was
something.
thinking, right? It was going to be like or someone had a comic book that said it, or someone's going to be dressed like Star-Lord.
Yeah, with a red leather jacket.
So I saw it and I didn't think anything of it. And then I saw it, they posted it on one of those pages and it was like, this is the Guardians.
Okay. It's not like the R2D2 scene in Star Trek kind of thing.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You slipped R2D2 into Star Trek. Good work.
Yeah. The one good thing that Abrams did.
Hey, I like those movies, okay?
You know what? The first two were good.
I love the third one.
Really?
You didn't think the third
Idris
one
Elba
was...
again.
The third one was so much fun.
It was only because I like Idris Elba so much.
Okay. It was the most Star Trek-y of the three movies. Like it had that campy vibe where it was just silly and big action scenes and colorful.
Politically motivated.
So bright. Yeah, and that's just Star Trek. The first two are so dark and gritty, and the first one is the best one.
Yes, and I like 3 better than I like 2.
Yes, that's fair. But I do like 2. I don't understand the hate because it was Khan. Like, why is everyone so mad that it was Khan?
They even mentioned it that it's a different timeline. It's not the same timeline. Spock even explains that to you. So it doesn't have to. Everybody was expecting that the Wrath of Khan, but this is not the Wrath. It's a completely different movie.
Yeah,
and shout out to Peter Weller in that film.
Peter Weller, you're a good Batman too. Like, good work.
Yes, he is. But
list.
Yes, I did. He didn't earn it. But other than that, like I said, they did Rick Flag a little dirty. I didn't like killing these people at the beginning of the movie just for the sake of killing them. Like, especially the fact that they were pretty big name actors.
Yeah.
Like you had Nathan Fillion, you had Pete Davidson, right? Isn't it Ming Na that was the Mongal?
Yeah.
So it's like, they weren't like nobody. And Nathan Fillion and Michael Rooker. Like these
Michael Rooker, I was expecting to stay around.
Especially because he's always in it's Rooker and Fillion always in every James Gunn film. You'll always have them in I don't know if you've ever watched Slither.
I have.
Yeah, that's basically they're the main characters.
I mean, if no one's seen Slither or Super, you should watch both of those. They're both very good. I prefer Super. I think of all of his movies, Slither's my least favorite, but it's still a really good watch. It's
a very campy horror movie.
It's like a darker, more bloody version of like 8-Legged Freaks, kind of, or like Arachnophobia, where like a thing is taking over a town and everyone's like
throwing a little bit of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, it does have that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, James Gunn.
Good job, James Gunn.
I'd like to see more.
At
least I'm hyped again about this universe.
Yeah, and Aquaman 2's starting. Are they starting pre-production now?
Aquaman 2, Flash,
right?
The Batman is done. And there's something.
But that's postponed again, though, right?
Shazam.
They just started on Shazam. Black Adam.
Yeah, Black Adam. Black Adam's done filming. You're wrapped.
Yeah. Ooh, can you see a crossover? Peacemaker and Black Adam.
No.
WrestleMania 28 all over again.
Just have Hobbs and Shaw cross over with the Suicide Squad and have that crossover with Guardians, and you can have Batista versus Roman Reigns versus The Rock, and John Cena.
And John Cena. Just throw Roman Reigns in there for good.
Only one wrestler in that of those 3 that of those 4 that I would care about. I mean,
Batista or The Rock? The Rock.
The Rock. I never liked Batista when I was watching wrestling. Right when I stopped, he had just got introduced and he was not even a main card guy. He was a low card.
He played when he had that heel run. He was that asshole. He looked like that club guy heel with the glasses. He did a really good job on that run. But yeah, other than that, Batista, I mean, he's a half decent in-ring worker, but
yeah, now that he's so famous, it's like WWE just eats that stuff up. They love that John Cena and those guys are famous now because they could just milk them. When they come back, it's so much money in their pocket.
But that's the thing. Batista said he's done with them.
He doesn't want to go back. I know. I saw that.
Yeah, he goes, I've retired. I'm done.
I mean, he did go back 3 times. So,
I think, He's done for now.
But he did go back, so
Yeah,
he did.
he had that second run, but
But anyways,
and the third. Yeah,
I mean,
that's all I got.
Watch.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Definitely.
It's a fun summer action movie. It's a fun summer superhero movie. Like we haven't had one of those in a really long time. I even put this one higher than Black Widow.
Oh,
Much higher than Black Widow.
I gave Black Widow like a 7.25, I think. And
Yeah.
I think Black Widow, as a buddy cop movie, does a great job. It doesn't work as a superhero movie, and it doesn't work as a Marvel movie. But if you just go in there and watch it as a buddy cop movie, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's exactly it. If you didn't have the whole Black Widow name behind it, yeah, I think it would have been a great spy buddy cop film.
It feels like a repurposed script. That's how I see it. Also, last thing before I go. I don't want more Peacemaker. I don't like that character. I didn't like it at all. I'm not excited to watch the show. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, for the sake of watching
it. He wasn't an interesting character.
I'd rather see more. I'd rather see like more Bloodsport go on like Hitman, like the game Hitman. He goes on these Hitman missions. And
do it how Marvel's doing it. And just have some characters have one season runs. Make a polka-dot man backstory of how he got in jail, and then just cut it off. And
like randomly have Robert Pattinson show up as the Batman kind of thing.
There you go. You have an eight episode run of just that. I guarantee you people will love it.
Yeah, because Polka-dot Man was Batman, I guess. He was a Batman villain, I think. Pretty sure he was.
Wasn't he the Flash?
Was he the Flash? I know King Shark is the Flash.
Yeah, I think Polka-dot Man is the Flash. Polka-dot Man is the Flash. Condiment Man is Batman.
Condiment Man, yes.
Boomerang Man is Flash.
Is the Flash. Javelin is Hal Jordan, I think.
I don't even remember Javelin in the comics.
Yeah, I think he's a shout out to my cousin Mike. I think he was the one who pointed that out to me. Yeah, I think Javelin is a Hal Jordan villain.
Hal Jordan it is. That's all I have. You got anything else?
No.